Alright, we're back and we're going to pull some fence today, hopefully. Yesterday we had a good bit of rain, about 1.25 inches of rain here on the property. And so we were unable to do any work out here on the fence, but we're going to get this fence pulled, this stretch, probably I think it's about 120 feet or so. Get that pulled. I'm going to try to do that by myself. Normally I would really rather have a helper with me, but my wife is off doing some other things today, and all my boys are grown, so I don't have anybody here. But anyway, so I'm going to try to pull this off by myself. Might go a little bit slower than normal, but we're going to staple it to the H-brace fence post on this side over here. I'm going to roll that out, and then we're going to pull it down on the other end and staple it on the other end, and then fasten all the these T-posts with the metal clips that come with the T-post. So shouldn't be too hard. The hardest thing is just handling that length of fence and the weight of that roll of fence, and but we should be able to get it done. So let's see how we do. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put my fence stretcher on my fence here to tighten up right here at this H-brace. Before I get it too tight on the H-brace, I want to make sure I get it to where it's good and snug, so that the fence is not wobbly between these two fence posts right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my stretcher on it to pull it a little bit taut so that I can make it nicer looking on this end. And then it'll also be a better foundation, a better base from which to pull from the other end. So if you haven't seen a fence stretcher like this before, I made this a few years ago when we first moved to the property. And it's you can get a store-bought kind, but this works just as well, I would think. All it is two 4-foot 2x4s and some bolts and nuts and washers to go between. And what you do is you use those two 2x4s and sandwich your fence between them, and it squeezes that fence so that, and then I've got these two utility bolts or D-rings here that I'll hook to my come-along over here, and that'll pull this whole fence together, and not just in one little piece, one part of the fence, so you don't get a high side or that's pulled tighter than the low side. You know, it's pulled uniformly across the fence, or across the height of the fence. So I'm just putting this on real quick, or not real quick really, but so putting this on, and then we'll pull with my come along back there. I'll attach my tow strap to it and pull it good and tight. Okay, so I've got all my nuts and bolts started. Just going to get them tightened up here. All right, so that's good and tight. Get my tow strap hooked on here, and we'll pull it tight here. We'll get it nailed down. Okay, I'm not going to pull it too tight, just tight enough to get it straight on the fence post there, and I'm going to nail that down, and then we'll loosen it up and we'll put it on the other end and pull it all the way out. That's attached. So now I'll roll my fence out to the other H post that we put in down there, and then we'll pull it that way. I got to find something to attach it to pull it all the way down. And we'll try to put this fence up today. That's the part of the job is unpleasant with one guy, especially an old chubby fellow like me. Rolling that out and getting it up this hill, you really can't tell. It's about a 6-foot elevation drop from here down there. Anyway, so I've got it up here. I wish I could tell you this video was sponsored by Ultima excuse me, Ultima electrolyte mix, but it's not. But that's what I drink on sweaty days. Anyway, so I've got this hand tight. You may have seen me hook it over some of the T-posts. That's just to hold it in place there while I get my come along set up and my fence stretcher set up to pull it. I'll get that to where it's not real loose, and then I'll go through and I'll unhook those spots on the fence that I hooked them over the T-post so that it'll be free, and then I can pull this tight and it'll be pulling against that other H-brace on the other end where we started, and then I'm going to pull it real tight all the way, and then I'm going to nail it to this H-brace, and then we'll go through and put the clips along on the T-posts. So believe it or not, we're actually almost done with this project. This is the hardest part that we just did, is pulling that fence. I'm gonna get this stapled out or pulled in tight, staple it up, and then hook up the T-post. Then I'll cut this off down on this end, and then we can get started actually putting the hog panels up to prepare for the piglets that'll be coming here in just a couple of weeks. Okay, let me show you real quick how to attach the fence to a T-post using the T-post clips that come with the T-post typically. But this is a tool you may or may not be aware of. This is a T-post clip applicator. I don't know what it's called, but it's about $20. You can get it on Amazon, you can get it at Tractor Supply, pretty much anywhere farm tools are sold. But it will save you a lot of time when you're trying to put these little dudes on your T-posts. Now when you're applying T-posts or these clips to your T-posts, you need to do at least 4 is what I typically do. 1 at the bottom, 1 at the top, and 2 spaced out evenly along this fence line or along the post. So you want to bring, see, this is pretty tight. I can barely get this thing up against this post because I've got that thing pulled pretty tight. So I may be wrestling with this just a little bit. But let me show you how this works. We'll get it up against the post here. with my leg. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, actually it goes around this way. Hook it like this, and then bring this around. All right, so you can see it's hooked on this side. I've got it looped around the post here, and I've got this little hole here. So watch this. Take my tool and go right through there, and you use it as a leverage, and you just twist that around just like that, and it's not going anywhere. And then it's got a little hole in this device, and that's designed to go right through there, and then you push that around and it wraps just like that, and that's snug. And it took no time at all to do that. Let me do another one. So I'm going to reach around, got it hooked. I'm going to put my device right through the hole right there. Between, yep, and then wrap it right around there, and then reach right in there, put my hole, put that wire through my hole, and wrap it right around. That pulls it snug to there. Let me see if I can get one to go a little faster, because you may not be impressed yet. So I'm going to put one about there, one about there. You want to do it so that you're hooking to one of the horizontal pieces of the fence. Just like that. Hook it in there and pull that around. Hardest part is getting them out of your bag. And then one more. Okay, it's going to hook, come around, put it through there, push it to bend it around, reach over here, grab that little tab, pull it, boom, just like that. And we are attached at 4 places along that, and my goats or my pigs are not going to get out of this. Well, we run into a little bit of a problem, and I didn't think it was going to be a problem before, but now I do. Because I've got this fence pulled tight. And you can see fence pulled tight goes pretty straight, but these fence posts kind of curve around that area right there, those green and white fence posts. This one, this one, this one, that one's okay. Or that one's okay. And then they curve back around again. And because this fence is tight, and I've already got this thing attached to about 7 posts, I'm not going to unattach it in order to not make it as tight. But what I'm going to do is this little device right here is a lever action device, and it is designed to pull fence posts. When I put these fence posts into the ground several days ago, the ground was pretty soft here, Didn't give me a lot of trouble at all. So these ought to come up pretty easily. So I'm going to pull these up, move them out a little bit, especially that one right there. It needs to come out probably a good 2 feet. That one needs to come out about 18 inches, the one next to that stump. And then the two down there need to come forward a little bit. Anyway, wasn't thinking. But I wanted to show you, everybody makes mistakes. And sometimes you just got to fix them. Alright, that brings us close to this portion of the project. I'm getting kind of pooped. I've been out here for several hours and doing this, and you can see I'm a little damp, a little thirsty, so I'm going to take a break. And but next time I come out, we're going to start putting up hog panels and build the pen. This was the hardest part of the project. Putting up the hog panels should be pretty easy compared to this. And then we'll put in, well, obviously we'll have to put in more T-posts around the perimeter of the hog pen on which to hang the panels. But that should go pretty easily. And so then we'll be able to build a shelter and the feeding and watering stations for them. Hopefully in time to get them here. So anyway, that's the end of this part of it. We'll pick up next time.